Thanks for joining us here on the Bill Mason Show. It's March the 31st, 2020. How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing well. I'm in a country that I don't recognize anymore. It's not the one I lived in last year.
No, there's checkpoints everywhere. There's virus that could kill millions. There's all kind of things going on.
I mean, I'm essential. I drive to work. It's like zombie apocalypse when I go to work. There's like nothing on the road. It's so weird.
Oh, wow. So, a lot of videos today, a lot of videos tonight. We're going to show what's going on around the country and around the world. Um, if you've been watching our videos before, we've been on this all the time. I mean, we called the pandemic back in January. We knew this was coming. We talked about 3.4 million deaths. Today, Dr. Fauci talked about 2.4 million deaths if they didn't flatten the curve. So now they're estimating around 100 to 200,000 deaths.
Yeah, which is crazy because that's a good number, you
That's a
know?
very good number. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to play Dr. Fauci in a minute, but we have some really strong video about the refrigerator trucks outside New York hospitals.
Yeah.
I mean, so they're loading bodies in on there's refrigerator trucks lined up outside New York hospitals. So let's take a look at this video.
All right.
Bodies, bodies. There's a truck that we're gonna put fucking bodies in, bro. Look at this shit, man, bodies. This is full up with bodies. The second load. Shit crazy. I'll show y'all this motherfucker. Shit crazy. Bodies up there, no falling up.
There you go, a refrigerator truck full of bodies. This is the second load, he said.
Yeah, that's not something that, like I said, I have a little bit of experience in the hospital business as like security guard and stuff like that. And that's not something you normally do out on the street. You know, most bodies and stuff like that, deceased are handled in an area where the public can't really see it. So the fact that they got a trailer dropped like on the side street somewhere shows I guess the amount of people that they have to deal with. You know, they have to do it quickly.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's piling up. I mean,
Yeah.
and the worst has not came yet. This is just a start.
Yeah, this is
Uh,
the very, very beginning. I know New York's going to be a hotbed, but California is
mhm.
going to explode.
Florida's,
Everybody's calling for that.
Florida, Louisiana,
Yeah.
New Jersey is second after New York.
Oh yeah, we're right next door, and there's talk of some of the tunnels and bridges to be limited for travel. They're
Mm,
already talking about that. They'll be basically closed. You know, bridges in the morning, tunnels at night,
mm,
and stuff like that, so they can limit the amount of resources and the police that it takes to see people that are coming and going for business because they're already asking that, and coming and going for whatever reason. You're being questioned when you go in and out of New York City at this point.
yeah. Well, it doesn't sound too good. We're going to talk about checkpoints in a minute too, as well. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all over the place. We're going to show some videos of that. So let's listen to Dr. Fauci today talking about 100 to 200,000 deaths. Jim Acosta asked him a question. Here we go.
Dr. Fauci, should Americans be prepared for the likelihood that there will be 100,000 Americans who die from this virus?
The answer is yes. We need, as sobering a number as that is, we should be prepared for it. Is it going to be that much? I hope not. And I think the more we push on the mitigation, the less likelihood it would be that number. But as being realistic, we need to prepare ourselves that that is a possibility, that that's what we will see.
Very short period of time for that to happen.
Right.
Can the country handle that in such a short period of time, within a couple of months?
You know,
50,000 a month.
You know, it will be difficult. I mean, no one is denying the fact that we are going through a very, very difficult time right now. I mean, we're seeing what's happening in New York. That is really, really tough. And if you extrapolate that to the nation, that will be really tough. But that's what it is, Jim, and we're going to have to be prepared for that.
There you go. So on the board back there, they had the bubble where we didn't have any social distancing or mitigation. It was 2.4 million deaths. So about where we talked about at the beginning of this, we were talking about 3 million deaths.
Yeah.
So we're about right on where we were at when we talked about it at the beginning. So let's look at the numbers today. So far today, look at that number, 666, by the way.
Yep. I saw that right away in red. I was wow.
Oh boy. So 666 people died today. We're almost at 4,000 dead. And look at Italy. Italy's still piling up the numbers.
Yeah.
They're doing 800 deaths a day, 837 today. It's 12,428 deaths. And then Spain is racking it up to 748 deaths. So it's not looking good. Of course, China fudged their numbers, and they're probably at around 200,000 dead. So again, or more. We just don't know. So let's take a look at the state numbers. Today, New York, 208 deaths.
Yeah, look at the new cases though, 8,400.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
That's most of the cases in the United States.
Yep.
You got New Jersey second, 69 deaths today. Louisiana looks like they're falling close for 54 deaths today. So it's looking good.
No, not at all.
So you like clusters in New York, New Jersey, Louisiana. I bet you that Florida's going to be another state that's going to go bad.
Sure.
And who knows what else? Texas, California might follow suit. So what do you think about all this? I mean, it's.
I think right now it's bad to be in a densely populated area. I mean, you know, the people in the rural parts of the country, as you can see, their numbers are lower. And if you live in like a big city, I mean, it's going to double. I mean, a lot of these cities are doubling daily.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not only in cases and deaths. And the problem I personally have, like around where I live in Philadelphia, is now your first responders are getting the virus. You know, we have hundreds of police officers that have it. They're being quarantined for 2 weeks, hundreds of EMTs and firefighters that now have it. So now you're running that thin line again of what keeps society together. And these people aren't going to get checked for a month or so. It could get a little rioty and a little weird in the big cities real soon.
Yeah, that's what Italy's worried about too. I mean, riots. Yep. So we're worried about that as well. Just breaking news here, there's a 6.4 earthquake hit southern Idaho.
Wow.
That's a big earthquake for Idaho.
Yeah.
So 6.4 earthquake hits southern Idaho across all region. So.
Wow. That 6.4 is nothing small. That's enough to do damage.
Yeah, the first report was 6.6. Oh, that was on Yellowstone.
Ooh.
Well, I hope that doesn't explode. That's all we need. A virus and an exploding supervolcano.
And a volcano?
Supervolcano at that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Yeah, 6.6 earthquake hits Yellowstone area in Idaho. Wow.
And we were just talking about rural areas being safe. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, no, they're not safe. If that thing goes off, we're all toast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Volcanic summer.
Yeah, and of course today, the acting Navy Secretary said aircraft carrier Theodore Roosevelt, with 6,000 on board, has 200 sailors tested positive for the virus.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it's taking down our aircraft carriers. We have 12 aircraft carriers. I didn't know we had that many.
Yeah. And the scariest thing is they're worried about it. There's submarines, there's nuclear subs that they're just leaving. They're like, don't come back. You
Right.
whatever's working for you guys, just stay where you are.
Right. exactly. So a lot going on. Some of it's not good. The numbers speak for themselves. It's only going to go up. I saw a graph earlier that not only really 2 weeks is going to be the biggest explosion. It's going to be the beginning of May.
Yeah. And they're even talking now that this summer heat
Mm-hmm.
is not going to have the effect that everybody thought.
No,
They say, oh, flu season, it burns off. Not this one.
no, it's 120 degrees. Me and you, we talked
Right.
about this several times.
Yep.
It takes 120 degrees to kill this thing. Minus 30 degrees to kill it for the freezing weather. So
Yeah.
this thing is not going away anytime soon.
Right.
So let's take a look at the map again. We have the map here from the John Hopkins, and of course we're all red now. They might as well just
Yeah.
go ahead and take the red off because the whole world is red.
Right. And I
Uh,
mean, everybody's talking about Italy right now. Like, I know a lot of focus is on the United States because we live here, but we have 350 plus million people. Italy's at 60 million and Spain's at like 50. I mean, they literally have screaming numbers compared to the United States.
right. So look at all those red dots.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that there. The only place that don't have a red dot is Antarctica, by the way.
Yeah. It's a safe spot.
Alaska has it, Greenland has it, but Antarctica down there does not have it. So there we are. We're almost at 4,000 deaths here in the United States. And so anyway, so that's the map there. Uh, I don't know what to say. I mean, is it going to be millions of deaths? Is it going to be 100,000, 200,000 deaths? Is it going to be a global depression? What's going to happen? Is it going to be a super volcano? What is going on?
It's bad because you have the states. So the states are crying the blues about not having the proper amounts of equipment as far as PPE, personal protection equipment, as far as respirators and the like. And they had some time to figure this out, and now it comes a question: do they hand over their reins to the federal government? So, like, the game that Cuomo's playing is to pretend that he's this autonomous state, and then to cry and blame the Fed for everything that he doesn't come through on his own,
Right.
and it becomes this round robin argument of who's responsible.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as far as Trump goes, he sent the Navy hospital ships. He sent one in New York, and I think the other one's in San Francisco, somewhere on the West Coast. And he sent the Mercy and the Comfort
It's in Los
to try
Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So it's to try to deal with the healthy
Mhm.
on the ship. So they're trying to isolate all of the city hospitals to handle this. I mean, what else could Donald Trump have done other than to send what little power he has? These liberal cities like, New York, they act like he has this magic wand where he's going to swing it around and give you the ventilators and also give you additional nurses and doctors to handle all of the nonsense that goes with it. And it just isn't the case. So, I mean, as far as the states are enacting the National Guard, okay, because that's what a governor can do. And once you bring FEMA in, FEMA kind of pushes everybody aside and goes, okay, we got this. And I think some of these states are begging for that,
Right.
because they want to pass the baton of responsibility because they know this is a mountain that they have to handle. Once they pass it to FEMA, now it becomes like they did with George Bush and Katrina. It becomes Trump's baby. So, I mean, I foresee some of these states just giving up, going, okay, come on in, FEMA, and then handle everything.
Right. So, do you know what region you're in?
Oh, FEMA region?
Yes.
I think I'm in 2,
I
right?
think you're on 2 as well.
Yeah, I'm
I'm in
FEMA.
region number 4.
Right.
Texas is in region number 6.
Yeah.
So you got to know what region you're in for FEMA.
Yeah.
We do have, speaking of the Mercy and the Comfort, we had Rachel Mandel talking about how long it's going to take the ships to get there.
I think she said they would never come. That was funny.
Right, let's take a look and see what she said.
Yeah.
That the Navy hospital ships that the president made such a big deal of, the Comfort and the Mercy, there's no sign that they'll be anywhere on site helping out anywhere in the country for weeks yet.
The USNS Mercy was welcomed with waving and open arms as she pulled into the port of Los Angeles early this morning.
The U.S. Navy hospital ship Mercy is pulling into the port behind me here in San Pedro.
And I want to just thank the president personally on behalf of the grateful region.
Comfort now is just pulling into dock here in Midtown Manhattan.
The United States Navy hospital ship Comfort arriving in New York Harbor, bringing 1,000 additional beds.
A relief valve for sick, non-COVID-19 patients who need treatment in New York, arriving in New York Harbor today.
They are 12 days early, Brian.
I went to the ship Comfort today. I said, thank you, Mr. President.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, as promised. I mean, Trump said they would be there, and they're there. Rachel Maddow can play her role. I mean, everyone can see that the liberal media is running out of things to say at this point, and they have to keep on Trump. So it's like whatever Trump does, we have to talk about it in a negative way. Mm-hmm. And then he keeps coming through. You know, when Cuomo asked for ventilators, he goes, boom, here's 4,000 of them. Cuomo puts 4,000 of them in a warehouse, goes on the news and says, we need more ventilators. Trump goes, they're there. And then he gets caught and he goes, oh, well, we don't need them yet, but we just want to have them. I mean, they really can't make this less about themselves and more about Trump, because they need this to look like they are. The media has really been like, I don't know, unmasked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has. I mean, it's been unmasked for the last 4 or 5 years now. With Trump.
I mean, this year, I gotta say, 2020 has been the year they have been caught with their pants down, lying, fake news, no sources, everything, and it's MSNBC, it's CNN, it's
CBS.
ABC.
Let's take a look at CBS. I mean, CBS, they did a video showing, it said it's a New York hospital, but in actuality, it was in Italy.
Yeah, I saw that. Do we have that?
We do have that. Let me bring it up here. All right, here we go.
This is the main hospital in Bergamo in Lombardy province. It's one of the most advanced hospitals in Europe.
See at the top of CBS this morning?
Yeah.
The bottom is
the most hard hit of all the hospitals.
Is the Italian hospital.
Yeah.
So as you can play that again.
This is the main hospital in Bergamo in Lombardy province. It's one of the most advanced hospitals in Europe. But
anyway, same exact hospital. They're trying to play it off as a New York hospital. CBS this morning.
They're making it up as they go along. They need to have some sort of, they need to talk about something, and they got to find a way to make it negative. They don't want to like bring up the fact that American people are rising to the occasion, that people are retired from the National Guard are re-enlisting to help, that retired nurses and doctors are coming back into the fold, and that guys like Mike Lindell, who makes pillows for a living, is converting his factory to make masks and takes 75% of his labor force to chip in, you know, for cost. And they don't want to like upplay him. When he came on and Trump was talking with him, they cut Mike Lindell out. They said, oh, you know, we're not going to show that. Luckily, other venues did. But I mean, this is the nonsense, the politics that they still want to insert into a life-saving like thing that this country needs.
Right. I mean, he's religious, so they can't show any kind of religion. You know?
Yeah, he's a Christian, so therefore he's null and void. I mean, it's such nonsense.
Yeah, so when we come back, we have a next segment coming in. We're going to show a commercial real quick. We're in a commercial break. But we're going to come back. We're going to show the checkpoints around the country. We're going to go over a few items with the virus, what it does, what you need to do to protect yourself. So here we go. We're going to go to a commercial. We'll be right back.
All right.
Do you experience ongoing severe depression, headaches, long bouts of uncontrollable crying? Have you tried therapy? You may suffer from TDS, Trump derangement syndrome is a serious illness that attacks the central nervous system. It can lead to public embarrassment, extreme rage, sometimes even violence. TDS is made worse by consuming fake news media from corporations such as NPR and CNN. But you're not alone. TDS affects over half of Democrats and nearly 99% of leftists. Doctors are beginning to understand the illness. TDS interferes with the areas of the brain that are responsible for rational thinking and that regulate appropriate emotional responses. With this knowledge, scientists have innovated a new treatment for TDS. Introducing Trump Zolta. Trump Zolta is the only known treatment for TDS. If others have mentioned that you may have TDS, you can speak with your doctor to see if Trump Zolta is right for you. Become you again. Trump Zolta is not right for everyone. Some common side effects are hallucinations, clinical insanity, stomach cramps, and rapid onset explosive diarrhea. Ask your doctor about Trump Zolta.
There we go. Thanks for joining us again here at the Bill Mason Show. This show is sponsored by TDS, by the way.
Yeah, Trump Zolta.
That's right. All right, so let's going to show you some checkpoints here, what's going on around the country. We have, before we show the checkpoints though, I want to show you the emergency light on the Empire State Building. Did you see that?
What better way to make New Yorkers feel at ease?
Oh, so they're showing an emergency there in the Empire State Building. Let's take a look. Is that going 24/7?
Yeah, all night from sundown to sunup.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's like the bat signal or something.
Yeah, I don't know who thought of that, but I mean, I get it. It is like a dire situation, but it's kind of, I don't know. I'd rather have a beacon of hope than a signal of red alert.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm not in charge of the Empire State Building, so we'll let them do that.
Right. So we have a checkpoint here at Florida. They're checking for New York travelers. So let's take a look. It's backed up traffic on 995. Let's take a look at that.
Wow. 3 lanes deep.
Goes on for miles.
A lot of toilet paper in those trucks.
Yeah.
Not getting to Costco.
No.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, goes on for a while. All right, so there we go. And we have another checkpoint in Connecticut and Rhode Island. We have somebody send us a video about that. Take a look. Got the military vehicles on the side. There we go.
Well, it's not like we didn't have the inkling that this wasn't going to happen. I mean, we were calling for this to be a thing back in January, and all of the Democrats that are saying that Trump didn't react to this or he reacted too late, we started talking about it in January when he restricted the flights that were coming from China. You know, the problem is how do you fight what I call it, I mean, this is my personal opinion, the plandemic. To me, this looks totally planned based on Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year, and all of this stuff. And I think as soon as it became a situation where you could take a hold of it, I think Trump actually did something. It's really difficult to strand Americans all over the world because we are that country. We are involved in everything. And that's just the way we are. We have people that go to school abroad. We have people that do business all over the world. So to restrict flights was a big decision. It wasn't like just on a whim he flipped a coin. That was a big deal. And he doesn't get a lot of credit for it in the press. And you have Democrats going up there saying, oh, he didn't do anything and he's the reason why we have this outbreak. Not the case at all with anybody who has a room temp IQ or above.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, he did a good job trying to protect us. I mean, even when it had the pressure to not, limit those flights.
Yeah, they called him a xenophobe. I mean, I saw the tweets. Even Biden and Pelosi were calling him racist and xenophobic for choosing to single out a country and not to let flights come from it. And then 14 days later, then they were panicked.
That's true. I mean, we have, we got to keep everybody where they're not together, social distancing. We got to make sure you wear gloves.
Right.
You got to make sure you wear a mask. If you have a mask, make one. So CDC the next few days are going to tell every American to wear a mask. The only reason why they didn't do it ahead of time is because they didn't have enough masks for the first responders. They were trying to get enough masks for them.
But now they changed their tune. They're actually saying that even a handkerchief is better than nothing.
Right.
Some sort of barrier between your T-zone. So your T-zone is your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. So, I mean, if you can block that, like I wear my glasses more often and I cover my face while I work and even when I go to the food store. But now it's going to become a thing to where, okay, now you have to, or at least you should.
Right. So we're going to take a look at social distancing. There's a Florida church in Tampa. He was arrested the other day and for holding church. So take a look at that. So Florida pastor arrested after disregarding public health orders by holding church services.
Yeah, and we talked about that too, where people being isolated for big chunks of time, their Sunday mass or their Sunday gatherings are like what kind of brings them back and makes them think that everything has at least some sort of end. Right. Whether it's through their pastor's sermon or whatever it is. I mean, to restrict that, it does restrict a bunch of constitutional rights. You have the rights to assemble, you have the right to practice your religion. And it's weird that when we get in these times of crisis, it's kind of like everything goes on hold. On one aspect, I understand the government's standpoint saying, well, we don't want hundreds of people in a church. And on the other side, it's like some of those people have been hunkered down for days. They show no symptoms and they just want to get back to some semblance of what they're used to.
Right. Yeah, we had to do social distancing. I mean, so you don't have to, you won't get other people sick. So,
right.
I mean, the next explosion, I think, besides the United States, though, is going to be India.
Yeah, they are directly on top of each other, man. So densely populated.
They are. And we have a video seeing how far they're impacted together. So let's take a look and see this video. They're at the bus station here, okay? Take a look at this. So that was the other day at a bus station.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't even imagine. I hate massive crowds in any way. Social distancing for me is not a problem because I avoid crowds like the plague. I can't imagine that is your daily life. That's your daily routine.
Right.
Like to get to and from wherever you need to go. That's insane.
That is insane. So we got to watch out for India. India's going to be the next explosion. I think they're going to be the worst of all countries. They have almost as many people as China, and they're going to be the worst hit.
We also called that too back in February. We were like, it's going to be a major explosion because they have nowhere to go. They have no room to social distance. I mean, you look at those. That had to be hundreds of thousands of people in one area waiting for. It looked like a dozen buses. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
No, it's not good. We have some good news though. We have a religious people, Christians, going to a Georgia hospital and praying for them that's inside, the patients and the first responders. Let's take a look at that.
All right.
Miracle work, promise keep, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are.
So that's pretty nice of them to have that at the hospital.
Yeah, that was amazing turnout. I mean, I don't know if those were just people that were there to get tested or what. I mean, that was a big congregation of people, but they were all nicely separated.
There was no chance of them catching anything from one another. They were in the cars. So anyway, I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, is it going to be 100,000 or dead, and they're going to be a depression, or what's going to happen? Is it really going to be a depression?
I'm honestly, I've always been the glass is half empty guy. I don't think Americans listen well. I think our freedom, we keep fighting for it. And like you can see, like people are still going to fight to go to church. People are still going to fight. I mean, my cousin was telling me they're having Corona parties. You know, young people are still getting together and gathering in giant groups of 50 or 100. And I mean, it's just not going to stop. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Right. All this economic downturn we're going to face from this is going to bite us in the ass because the 21-year-olds that aren't in school, what are they going to do? They are not social distancing. They are partying. It's just, it's going to happen. I really doubt that we're going to be able to flatten this curve like Dr. Fauci thinks, because we have a high percentage of the population that just don't listen.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, so I don't think it's going to look good. I mean, they don't listen. That's not going to flatten the curve very much.
It doesn't do anything. Like you and me staying home and maintaining our social distance and washing our hands and all that stuff. One party with 100 college kids negates it all. They go home and then it's all out the window. None of it matters.
That's true. So I mean, we have, speaking of depression, we have a food bank that opened up in Pittsburgh, and there's a long line for food. Let's take a look at that. Let's look at this food line. Look at all those cars waiting for food.
Wow. And that's Pittsburgh. Yeah, I guess that's the Allegheny right there. Wow.
So, I mean, that's a lot of people waiting for free food.
It's only going to get worse, honestly. I mean, there's so many people that aren't going to work right now. There's so many people that are, like I said, opening up empty refrigerators. And it's really going to get antsy because our first responders are catching the virus in their home. We have less police. We have less law enforcement presence. And then once the National Guard guys start getting it, I mean, it could get something that we've never seen in this country. Right. I mean, this could get really, really bad. Not to be the guy, the doomsday guy, which I kind of am, but this has all the makings of terrible.
It does. I mean, they were showing the other day that this virus has already made 100 tiny mutations.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, the people that work on the virus, how do you encapsulate that? How do you make a virus for something that every month there's another version of it?
A vaccine.
Ridiculous.
How do you make a vaccine when it changes?
A vaccine. How do you make a vaccine as something that keeps changing?
Yeah. So it's going to be difficult. So
Yeah.
it's going to come back over and over again if it does go away at all.
Luckily, we have apparently a $5 medication that's used for malaria that some states have chosen to ban because Trump said it worked. And a couple of idiots took some fishbowl cleaner,
Right.
and now all of a sudden chloroquine, whether it's chloroquine phosphate or hydroxychloroquine, which are totally different in the world of chemicals. I mean, people just don't get it, but okay. It's helping people. It's working. I mean, that's on the upside. And the fact that you have these liberal states that are going to ban it, like Nevada, I believe it was Nevada. It's banned in Nevada. Okay, so you just signed a death sentence for all of those people who are maybe really close to dying that could use that because you don't like Trump. It's ridiculous.
Right. It is ridiculous. So, I mean, this broadcast is all about the virus now. This was a broadcast about Keep America Great Again.
Yeah,
But this has morphed into a virus show. But again, we're going to keep you tabs on the virus all day long. All shows, show you videos of what's going on around the country. I was just looking at the latest to see if there's any more news about the earthquake in Idaho. Looks like it's a pretty bad earthquake, by the way.
Yeah, over 6, man. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah. So we do have a video here, though. Last video here tonight. We could not put this in, even though it's nothing to do with virus. It's about the tornado in Arkansas a few days ago. It's an amazing video. Let's take a look and see what that tornado is all about.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
There he is. So it's an amazing video of that tornado. I think that person that owned that shop, that phone shop, was from another country. That's the reason why he was speaking a different language.
Well, I mean, can you imagine being quarantined? Okay, so like you're at a stay-at-home order, and you're scared to go out of your house to get food and stuff for a virus, and then this rip-roaring tornado comes ripping through your town. I mean, it's really not easy right now. I mean, the things that are happening concurrently are pretty bad. We have. I hope it's not Yellowstone. I hope it's not volcanic, because I mean, seriously, do we need that?
We definitely don't need that. That would be close for the United States. The United States would cease as we know it.
Yeah, we don't need that right now.
No. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell. I'll get notifications on when we're going to come on. Do you have any last words, Bill?
No, I am just, I'm hoping that this upswing that they're expecting, really happens. I hope that people listen, and I hope that the people that are really hurting financially find a way, because it's months out before any of these checks hit, and I don't even know if that's going to help people. I mean, this is got all the makings of a nation ender. This is really bad.
Yeah, it is bad. So hopefully Trump will turn it around and we all go back to work and everybody is safe. So good night. And again, we'll be back on Thursday. And you have a wonderful night.
Good night.